People are distracting me with link. Is it on Kiki's chat or?
No, it's on my you're on air now. We've started. Okay. Good evening, listeners and viewers, because now it's viewers. We've got viewers now. Hello and welcome to Kiki's Chat Show today, Wednesday, the 2nd of September, year of our Lord, 2020. People, everything wants to go wrong. I can't find things, or I find things and I can't find what's already there. Everything is all over the place. However, it's all good. Today's an exciting day. Now, before I introduce my guest, I would like to give you a thought for the week. The week starts today, Wednesday, and ends next Wednesday. And the thought is, only people who are not happy with themselves are mean to others. If only you knew what people around you were going through, you would not be that mean. If you're a friend, please be a friend. Now, I've got my friend on here. Her name is Sharlene Afua Appiah. She is a published erotic book author. Now, the reason why we make a lot of noise about her being published is because she's the only West African erotic book writer. I don't know about other countries, but she is just about the only one we have in Ghana and along the West Coast. Everyone's scared to write anything with sex in it. We're all Christians after all, and we do not have sex even though we have babies. Is someone who has had several experiences and she would love to openly share them with all of us, you and I. Just in case any of them resonate with you and you would want to or are tempted to give up. She wants to tell you not to give up, and she has reasons for it. Now, apart from being a book author, she's an international makeup artist. She's a columnist. She writes for a magazine. And she's also a lawyer. Somebody asked me today, when I sent out the advert, I mean, she has all of these accolades. Why is she being a lawyer? Just a book author and international makeup artist is enough. I said, maybe people who deal in sex or who are interested in sex may need her help when they're in trouble, and she can help them. So there you go. It is good to be accomplished, and it's good to have a lot of ties to your bow. Welcome, Sharlene.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Kiki.
Good. So the first thing we want to talk about is your book. Or what would you prefer to talk about? I think your book would be an opener.
Okay.
How did you get started with your book? What made you? Why didn't you write a book and cut out all the sex parts? Why did it have to be a book which had warts and all? Everything was inside it.
Okay. It was I didn't set out to really write a book. I'm an accidental author. It fell into my lap. What happened was about in 2020 now. In 2012, I was admitted in hospital and I lay there bored 4 weeks. So I decided to blog on a platform, a private platform which had 20 ladies on to entertain them. So I was writing about different things. and the topic of sex and strange meetings came up. And I'm like, wow, that reminds me. In 2007, something really happened that changed my life. And I know you girls won't believe it. So I'm going to tell you. So that's how I started telling my story. So every day I'll put a few words down and they'll be like, we want more, we want more, we want more. So I carried on telling my story. And they were like, wow, you definitely have to put this in a book. And I was like, are you sure you even want me to put the sex bits in there? And they are like, yeah, because without the sex, it will be boring. It will just be like every other book you read. It's the sex and the way you tell your story that makes it amazing. So I decided to publish. That journey wasn't easy at all. And let me go back to 2007. What
Okay.
really happened was incredible. I was on my way to my sister's wedding in the United States. And when I got to Heathrow, I was running late. Meanwhile, I've been told to buy some Baileys and other drinks from duty free. So I quickly got into duty free. And as I picked up the Baileys, I just turned and my eyes locked on this amazing guy. He was about 6'4". His
Wow.
eyes. Oh my God. I just couldn't take my eyes off him. He was bald, had a beard. He was a hunk in every sense of the word.
Wow.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I went about my business, bought my drinks, and then rushed down to the gate. As I sat down reading one of my Eric Jerome books, I felt eyes watching me. I lifted my head, and who was watching me? The guy. Jesus, my heart was beating so loud. I'm like, I pray to God we're not going to the same destination. I just buried my head in the book, not looking up anymore until my flight was called. So the flight is called. I quickly start walking to my seat and I sit down. And gosh, as I sit down, I see this guy also entering. My thing was, Jesus Christ, please don't let him come and sit by me. Please. I think I was on seat 41. He
Oh
went
my God. You
past
remember the seat number
me.
and all?
Yes, and went to seat 43. And
Mm-hmm.
I heaved a sigh of relief. I'm like, yay! At least we're not on the same seat. So yeah, I could feel his eyes on me the whole flight. Anytime I turned, he was staring. And I mean, the whole flight, I was just stiff because I knew he was watching me. And I don't know why. I don't know whether because he looked so handsome. I didn't know why I was so bothered by
Mm-hmm.
him looking at me. And the eyes, especially the eyes, they were so dreamy. I just didn't know what to do. I'm telling you, I didn't know what to do. Thankfully, after a long 6.5 flight, we landed in Newark International Airport. I quickly got off and marched towards immigration. Dude was behind me. And I started panicking again. My heart was racing. So I just went into the loose just to, hide from him a bit. After 10, 15 minutes, I thought, oh, by now he'll be in his queue, so I can come out. As soon as I came out, he stood right beside me. If you looked, you would have thought we were a couple. That's how close he was. In my confusion, I went to the Americans only line, and there he was with me. Thankfully, the immigration officer was a very kind person. He didn't send me back to the other people, other lines. He just processed me. And I went on my merry way, got to the carousel customs to pick up my bags. Dude stood opposite me and just kept staring and staring until I picked my bags. And then we walked out of customs. And for some reason, our pickups didn't come early. Waiting about 30 minutes. He was on the phone, I was on the phone. And finally, as soon as his car came, mine came too. And I looked at him like finally and, and sat in my car and went. I thought nothing about it. I mean, I was taken straight to my sister's hair night and I was narrating the story to her. It was like, next time you see somebody like that, just say hello and exchange numbers. You never know. It could be a business partner, anything. So I was like, okay. Exactly 2 weeks later, at a house party, I'm sitting there minding my business. Who walked up to me? The guy, my Adonis. Can you imagine how big the state of New Jersey is? And a house party is not even Ghanaian. It's not British. It's Nigerian and American. I am Ghanaian British. So how our paths cross in a house party, I have no idea.
Wow.
He came straight to me and was like, oh, do you remember me? And I was like, yeah, I do. The guy on the plane, the guy at the airport. And he gave me his card. He said, call me. And I'm like, I don't live in the United States. I live in the UK. And he was like, I'll see you in 10 days, but call me first. I'm like, what do you mean 10 days? Me first. And I slept because at the time I was with my boyfriend. He just was a co-host. So I slipped the business card into my bra, got home and slipped it into my wallet. The next day, I was on the plane back to the UK. For 4 days, I was toying with calling him. Should I or should I not? Should I not? Finally, after the 7th day, I called. As soon as I said hello, she said, I knew you'd call. I'm like, really? And he said, yes. Anyway, just like I said, I'll see you in 3 days. I'm like, okay. So 3 days later, my phone rings and it's him. And it's like, oh, I'm in the UK. Whereabouts in the UK are you? I'm in London. And I'm like, Plasto is London. And he's like, no. Do you know Square's Cafe? And I'm like, yeah, I do. He's like, I'm eating there. I was like, gosh, this is like a 10-minute walk from me and a 3 minute ride. I mean, how? I'm like, are you stalking me or something? It's like, no. So we arranged to meet the next day. And I picked him up from the station. We were dressed in the same kind of clothes. Jeans, blue faded jeans, yellow polo shirts. Mine was a long sleeve, his was short, tan Timberlands. When I saw him come out of the station, I was just shaking. I don't know how I drove home. Came home,
With him,
switched,
with him in the
switched on
car.
the TV, switched on the TV, started making jollof. And as I didn't come here to watch TV, my dear. It was with me in the kitchen, standing so close. I be kissing my neck. I don't know how that jollof got finished. I had to call for backup. I called my cousin Pat. I'm like, Pat, I'm about to do something very embarrassing if you don't come here and save me from myself. So she did come. And of course, after that, nothing happened. Not on that day, but a series of events unfolded. Meanwhile, boyfriend too was in the wings. But then I had a choice because he was single. And then I was dating a married man.
Oh my gosh.
I was a side chick. I've been a side chick before. It happened. I had reasons. He didn't live in the UK. He lived elsewhere. So for me, you come to the UK, I'm fine. His thing was he never lied about being in a bad marriage. He said his marriage was over. He would never leave his wife. But I was just too active and him too good looking, and he thought we'll be good together. And of course, we were two naughty people. I did what I did because at the time I wasn't prepared for a relationship. I didn't want anybody bothering me with marriage. I had my child, I had my career, and that's all I wanted. I wanted something for the short term. When I was ready, I would jump. I'm seeing Toga, the one who got away, to open the
Wow.
way for a chain of events. So parts of the book are fiction, but parts are very true. Don't ask me which parts are true because I ain't telling. Some are stories of my friends as they tell me, and then I kind of form characters out of it. So I find that most of my friends, after reading, they go, "You cow, I saw myself in your book." I go, "Yay!" So yeah, that's how Toga, the story came about. It almost didn't happen because after the manuscript, it sat in my people's emails. Just read, and even see, that's one thing that is painful about us Black people. We don't support each other. I gave this manuscript to friends who were editors, who knew people. Nobody did anything but Malaka Grant, who was my Facebook friend. I inboxed her one day and I said, Malaka, I know you are author and I've got, this manuscript. I want you to read it. And if you can help me find a publisher. I went to the gym. By the time by my she sent me a message, said, I'm not even going to finish reading this manuscript. This is hot. You've got something going, so I am linking you to my editor. And I did, she did link me to her editor, who funnily was very close friends to someone who had my manuscript sitting in her email for a whole year. You know what? I see that once something's supposed to happen, it will happen. It will happen. It might not take a year or two, but it definitely will. Patience is the key and keeping focus. So
Wow.
there you go. That's how TOWGA happened.
This is so exciting. That's the beginning of the book because we haven't got into the naughty bits, but people, let me tell you, there are lesbian bits in it, there is straight sex in it, there's fun sex in it, there is even makeup sex in it, there is different types of anything that you're interested is there. So I don't want to say much, but all I need you to know is there is a lot of action in that book. Um, so you're talking about how you were in hospital. What were you in hospital for? Because you don't mind telling us.
Oh no, I don't at all. I had I was pregnant. I was 5.5 months pregnant with my pension baby. And my waters had broken. So they needed to keep me in hospital to get to 6 months so that I would have a cesarean. So the little boy could be saved. So that's why I ended up in hospital. And it was a really long and hard battle to save both of us because I got infection. When my waters broke, the neck of my womb was open, so they were trying to stitch it. They did stitch it, but I think what they forgot to do was give me antibiotics. So I developed an infection. So that was why I was in hospital. And the day my son came out, 9th, 10th April 2012, I never forget it because despite my iniquities, God revealed himself to me. I can proudly say I have experienced God. What happened was I've written a testimony about that. As I lay in the hospital bed on the 10th of April, I started feeling really sick, goosebumps, feeling cold, and there was sharp pain on my abdomen, and I could neither sit nor lay down. I was just crying out. So I hit the alarm, and my midwife came, one scary looking Nigerian woman. She came with this face, now, and I said, I'm feeling cold. Do you know what? She'd never bothered to check my temperature or anything. She just told the auxiliary nurse to put some blankets on me because I was feeling cold, and she left. I started feeling, as soon as they left the room, I started feeling a cold chill and numbness in my feet. So I started praying. I said, God, I know something is happening to me. Please save me. I don't want to be my mother. Because guess what? My mom had me at 42 years and she died 2 days after my birth. And here I was, age 42, pregnant and dying. I kid you not, after that prayer, a midwife came into the room. She wasn't my midwife, but she was like, are you okay? And I go, no, I'm not. And she was like, I don't like the look on your face. Can I have a look at your pad? The sanitary towel. And I'm like, okay, I'll, let you have a look at it. I took it out and it was all green. It was all green. And she's like, this is not good. She hit the alarm and the doctor came in. And I saw them whispering, shaking heads. Then finally the doctor said, something really awful is happening. You've got an infection. First off, I'm going to take the stitches off so that the pus will run out. And then I need to do an emergency cesarean to take that child out. And she's like, I can't do that small one. I can't cut the lower abdomen. I need to cut you from side to side, open you up, and leave the child out. Because if it goes through, it's only 6 months now. It's not fully developed. If it goes through the infection, it's going to die. I was so scared. I didn't want to do this. I seriously did not want to do it. But I had no choice. She cuts the stitches open, and the smell. in that hospital room. She could actually, fetch the pass and the smell.
Now,
So they started
viewers,
getting me.
let me just tell viewers that this Sharlene here, she doesn't hide anything. So she's telling you like it is because she's a writer. And one of the things the writers do is they allow you, they will tell you the truth and they allow you to imagine it. So we are all living the hospital experience right now. It's a bit gory, but we're adults. And a lot of us have gone through different variations of this horror. So please, just listen. Thank you. Carry on.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm so sorry if it's a bit gory, but it's leading on to something, so
Okay.
we'll get there. So yes, they left me be and went to get the room ready for the cesarean. So I was wheeled into the delivery room. I was there with my sister and my other half. And the midwife said, you know what, are you not going to take any form of pain killer? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'll be good. And she's like, you have to do something. And I said, okay, I don't want the pethidine thing because I hear it has a side effect. So I'll do the gas and air. I did the gas and air and I started talking funny. So my other half and my sister were laughing. And, I wasn't paying them any mind. Suddenly, the midwife had left the room at the time. Suddenly, I felt a presence in the room. I was in awe and I stopped talking. All I could feel was this presence, this person put his hands down there and take the child out. And when he finished, he turned around and left.
No, did
And
you
I
actually
was
see the
so
person?
gobsmacked. I
Did you
saw
see
a form, but
the phone?
it was like a trance.
Okay.
Yes. And it disappeared. So, I mean, all this happened in like a minute. So I was like, wow. And my sister was like, why did you go so quiet? What happened? Is it because we were teasing you? And I said, no, I've had a child. And they said, we know you're going crazy for real. You're going to have a C-section. How could you have had a child? The doctor just said, this child cannot go through uh, the pass.
Canal.
That's why you're having a major C-section. So what do you mean? And she said, no. So I said, just leave the sheets. Little one was on my belly, crouched on my belly, clean. And then she screamed and hit the alarms. Went screaming, oh my God, I need the nurse. I need this. My midwife was like, what's wrong? She said, my sister has had the baby. She said, how could she have had the baby? I left the room only 5 minutes. Couldn't have had the baby. She said, I kid you not, she's had the baby. She came running. She also lifted the sheet. There, my miracle baby was on my belly, all clean, no blood.
Good.
No blood on this child. The midwife quickly wrapped the baby in plastic. And
Mhm.
thankfully, because they were preparing for me, the neonatal staff and doctors were on standby. They wheeled the incubator in and put him, just before they put him in the incubator, he screamed twice. A 6-month-old child whose lungs shouldn't be fully formed screamed twice.
Wow.
Twice.
Wow.
So I sat down and I'm like, God, in all my, iniquities, you chose to to do this amazing thing. You know, I was scared of the knife. You sent a guardian angel to come save me in the room after that awful midwife, did what she did. I don't know how to serve you. So I struggled with my own life, things I do, and I realized that God loves each and every one of us.
Amen.
It doesn't matter what you do. So far as you have a special relationship with Him, so far as you have a pure heart and you are at peace with yourself, God loves you. So, of course, writing this book, I would come back to this story because it would be a reference point. Because this book, even though that story happened, I spoke about it and forgot about it. If I hadn't been in hospital having my pension baby, I wouldn't have been so bored. Nothing would have pushed me to start blogging.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, here I am today, an erotic writer. I can't write. I've written a testimony about this. I can't write about the Bible because I know the little about the Bible. I can't write about how to make 1,000,000 because I haven't made 1,000,000 yet. I can't write on marriage because I've had my failed marriage. I'm not an expert on marriage. I chose the erotica because I've always loved sex. I've read about sex. I've watched soft porn. And from secondary school, any topic about sex, if I wasn't there, then the sex story wasn't lit. So, yeah, erotica is my genre because that's what I can write best.
Wow. All
I
I can
have
say is
I have
wow.
3 children.
Mm-hmm.
My eldest is 31, married with 3 children. So I have 3 grandchildren. My second child is 9 years. And my pension baby is 8 years. So that's all about me. Makeup artist on my way to becoming a lawyer,
Yeah.
an almost energy consultant, but little one came along and I had to drop that. But gradually we'll get to that bit by bit. So that's all
Yeah.
of me.
When she
Mother
said
of
she's an
three, mother of 3 grandchildren.
when she said she's an energy consultant, it means she did oil and gas, didn't you?
I
Something
did
about
oil
yeah.
and gas, and a few of my oil and gas friends, we put something together. We were going to have our own consortium, but yeah, pregnant, and they had to carry on without me. But it didn't, put me down at
Mm-hmm.
all. Because, when God carves a path for you,
Mm-hmm.
just like Jonah, you might have twists and turns, but you finally get there. My child was born premature. He could fit into my palm,
Mm-hmm.
literally fit into my palm. Let me see if I can find a picture and show. We were in hospital for 3 months
Mm-hmm.
and he had 13 operations under general anesthesia.
Wow.
So I had to forget about the oil and gas, stay home for 2 years, in and out of hospital, and just work one day a week just to get boredom out of the way. So someone will say, how come You went to, yes, I went to University of Ghana. As a child, I'd wanted to be three things. Either a lawyer, a politician, but more into the UN, or an architect. Tech, I waited and waited. So I read political science and French. So I was carving my way towards the UN. And I came to the United Kingdom just to work, as my brothers would say, work and buy yourself a car. We'll help you buy a car, a few other bits. Go home and then start, because I knew people in places. So start carving your career in the UN. And I met a man. And that was the end of that chapter. UN, nothing happened. I visited a friend at work and I was made up. It was my face that got me the job. And she was about to leave her post. And she was like, man, your makeup, if my boss sees you, she would employ you immediately. So what did I do? I filled an application form as a joke. Got the interview. She saw me, she couldn't stop smiling. She was like, are you sure you've not done any makeup artistry? I'm like, no, this is raw me. All I've done is when I finished Legon, actually, I went to Canada and learned hairdressing. So I've got a hairdressing certificate as well.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I do hair, but the makeup I learned from my sister-in-law because she was a makeup artist, dressing, brides and stuff. So I would sometimes follow her when she was going to do up her brides. So yes, that's how the makeup artistry came into place. So when Fashion Fair employed me, they trained me. I started off as the floor girl. Gradually, like within any account I was taken, so if it was a negative, give me 3 months, I turn it to positive. So within a short time, I've been promoted and I was retrained. I went for an interview when a position came for makeup, international makeup artist. So by that, you go to Ireland, you go to France as well, where you train the staff on new products and how to sell to clients. So this is how I became the international and national makeup trainer. And so you will find that even in the book TOWGA, Fashion Fair features a lot in there. So yeah.
People are asking if you could read a small piece of your book. Have you got a copy of your book? And also, if you've got your phone on, can you bring it down to low? Can you lower the Facebook, because I can hear it. People can't hear, but I can. People can't hear, but I can.
Oh, okay. Then let me switch it off. Can you still hear
you don't.
it?
Once your phone
I'm saying,
is on silent. No, I can't hear it anymore. Yeah, once it's on silent, and the volume is also on silent. That's fine. Okay, now you can choose any part of your book because you can add a little bit of salaciousness, but just a tiny bit because we've got Christians on here. But just read a bit of your book so that people can see. I can't remember. My somebody borrowed my book and I am very bitter and twisted over it because I've looked everywhere in my house, so I know, and I can't remember who it was. My precious book that you signed for me. However, I think my special part, people, and I'm not ashamed to say it, was very naughty. So there you go. And it was when he came to dinner. Well, he did he come to dinner? But this is after everybody had left and it was just the two of you in the house, and this was your first encounter. It was so loving and so beautiful that I had to put the book down and pray. I had to stop myself, put the book down, calm my nerves, and then carry on again. You don't have to read that part though. Don't read that part. Read something else, but something that would get my ladies engaged, because I think everyone needs, and I think we're all of an age where everyone needs to read a book like that or have it in their repertoire. And you know, almost everyone I know is risque in their minds, not physically. So you know, so it would be good for you to read a little excerpt of your book.
Okay.
But,
So this is my book. I hope you can see. You can all see it. It's TOWGA. Why TOWGA? TOWGA means the one who got away. Now, who got away? It will depend on you, the reader. Who, because there's so many characters. There's Sharmaine, the protagonist. There's beautiful woman.
yeah.
There's the Adonis Olu.
Yes.
And there is Alex, the married man.
Yeah.
So depending on your perspective and how you read into the book, you decide who got away. I know who I think got away, which I'm not telling. I'll be spoiling it for you. But when you read, some decide, okay, beautiful woman got away. Some decide Alex got away, maybe. Or Sharmaine, the protagonist. So it really is up to you who you decide got away. So here we go. I know you loved that scene but I think my best scene is actually chapter 8.
Okay.
Mirror
Yep.
mirror on the ceiling. Okay.
Okay.
If you give me a minute. But trust me, when you read this book, you're going to laugh. You're going to be so angry, you might break something. You will shed a few tears. But that's the point, the whole point of it, to touch on the different emotions as you go. It's erotic, but it's a love story in its own way. So many different stories rolled in one. So, let me
People want
try.
to know.
Pardon
People want
me?
to know. People want to know where the book is being sold. They want to know if it's on Amazon and how much it is.
If you do want the hard physical copy, you can get that on my website,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
www.sharleneapples.co.uk.
We'll put it on. We'll put it in
Yes,
the chat.
and
So
if you're a Kindle reader, then you can get the e-copy on Amazon, and it's $6.59 on Amazon.
okay.
On my website, this is the paperback, and
Yeah.
that is $10.99 plus
Okay.
shipping costs. And the hardback is
Mm-hmm.
$14.99 plus shipping costs.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
okay.
So read an excerpt, just a short one, because we
Yeah.
need to talk about what you would tell your 20-year-old self, and at that point, if anyone is in there who wants to join in this discussion, they can join in
Okay.
as well.
Okay. So mirror up the ceiling. Just before boarding the flight back to Accra, I phoned Alex. I wanted him to pick me up from the Kotoka International Airport. My sister Angela's plane was touching down 30 minutes before mine. She was on the Royal Dutch Airlines, KLM. I was at the Kumasi airport ready to board the flight with my 2 children. We had touched down in Accra within 45 minutes. Everything moved fast that day. In about 15 minutes, our baggage was ready. We picked up our bags off the carousel, put them on trolleys, and walked into the beautiful dusk. Right on time as usual, Alex called us to say he was at the car park. See, when I got to the car park, Alex gave me a big long hug. He didn't seem to care that the children were around. He whispered to me that he had really missed me. Tonight, we were going to have dinner in an exotic Puerto Rican restaurant in Osu, he said. We would make some sweet music afterwards. He added. I imagined Angela had already arrived, so I called my older brother, who was to pick her up at the airport. He said they were almost home. Apparently, the plane had arrived an hour earlier than scheduled. Alex drove straight to my brother's house, and all the while, he had one hand caressing my thighs. It was a good traffic day. We moved faster than I imagined we would. In about 30 minutes, we were at my brother's house. Now, let me quickly skip to the steamy bit since we don't have much time.
Oh no, you don't have to. I want them to buy the book so that they read the thing and then deal with it privately in their own homes.
You don't want me to read just a little bit of the steamy? Okay.
But you can if you want to, but you can. You
Okay.
can really you can do
Just
that.
half a page. That's half a page of that. Okay. Okay. So let me start off. The chef was fantastic. His meal was a 5-star in rating, with the wine, the ambience, and the privacy of the dining room. It was only natural that we ended up kissing. Our kiss was slow and lingering
Wow.
in the beginning. Soon, it turned hungry and passionate. We knew we had to leave the restaurant as soon as possible before we did anything stupid. I was lightheaded by the time we got out of the restaurant. I felt tingles all over my body.
Wow.
I wanted to be taken right there.
Oh,
When we sat in the truck, Alex played Freddie Jackson's CD again. The music didn't help. My pussy began to cry out to be pounded. I asked where he was taking me. Me too. And he just smiled and started the engine. Well, whatever, I muttered to myself. I wasn't going to ruin a perfect evening by insisting. Alex drove us to a quaint house in Yaniba Estates. It was about 7 minutes drive from the restaurant in Osu. The gate was padlocked from outside, so I guessed that no one lived there. Alex grabbed some keys from the glove compartment and went to open the padlock. Could this be his hideaway nest where he conducted his extracurricular activities? I wondered. But I really didn't care what the answer was. My mind was preoccupied with the imminent great sex. Alex parked his car in the driveway and locked the gate again. I followed him to the front door. It was a beautiful house. The entire floor was covered with big white granite looking tiles of 600 by 600 each. The walls, which were painted with Egyptian cotton, contrasted the chocolate brown finishing. The curtains were made from handcrafted voile. The leather chairs were ivory and brown in color, and the dining set was made from solid oak. There were stunning paintings hanging on the walls and intriguing carvings as well. When I What I loved most about the house was that it was minimalistic and contemporary. The
Wow, it's
kitchen
enough.
was
It's enough. Yeah, everybody should
okay.
go and buy the book, because if we carry on like this, you will tell them everything in the book, and then they would not. They would have heard. So but the whole idea. Somebody is asking. People want to ask you questions, and someone is
Okay.
saying, "Is your pseudonym Sharlene Apples? Why not use your surname Appiah?"
Okay. I chose because I was writing an erotica. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted a name that would have some bit of mystery, a ring to it, will make you wonder. Charlene Apples, where is she from? Which part of the world? And apples comes, if you look, I'm up here. My niece coined that name for me because she's Michelle Appiah and she calls herself Michelle Apples. So she was like, Auntie Appiah Apples. Unfortunately, people think it's the melons on my chest, which led to me choosing apples. No, I'm Appiah and I wanted to make it a bit more exotic with some mystery to it. That's why I didn't write under Appiah.
Okay.
The other thing too, I must say, is I wanted to appeal to an international market. And I know my Ghanaian people, we are very, very, very judgmental. So even though I really didn't care what they said, I knew I wasn't writing only for Ghanaians. I wanted to catch the international market because the story is set in Europe, UK, Switzerland, America, and then Ghana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, if anyone wants to talk to Charlene right now, I have put it on the screen in front of me, so you can see. You can just press on the link and then join in if you want. It's fine. You can come and have a chat. I'll put you on so that we all talk. In the meantime, Charlene, somebody wants to know why do you want to do law then? Why is there a career change? Is it that you just like going to school and getting loads of things to your bow, or you there's a reason
Okay,
for the law?
yes.
Is it
As I
is it
said
because,
before, one of the careers I'd wanted as a young woman was to be a lawyer. I had three
okay,
careers: an architect, lawyer, politician
yeah,
in the UN. So me ending up as a makeup artist, I kind of enjoyed. Despite my degree, I kind of enjoyed it, the travel, the perks. I became sort of a therapist for many women, broken women. They would come
mhm,
tell me their stories about their marriages. And by the time I tweaked their eyebrows, made them up, they walked chest out and thank you. And I could see them having pride, the pride they'd lost back. So I thought,
yeah,
you know what? It doesn't matter about the degree. God put me where he put me because he wanted me to reach out to broken women, to tell them it's okay to be broken. It's okay to go through what you go through. But you know, one thing you shouldn't do is lay there. Just put on your face, square your shoulders, and face the world. So that's why I stayed in fashion fair for 21 years until the company folded.
hmm hmm
And to be honest, it was unexpected because I had meant to leave at a point. That's why I did oil and gas, but the pregnancy didn't go well. My child being premature and in and out of hospital. Suddenly, this child was the most important thing in the world. Now, I lost my job in 2018 January. And when I lost the job, I was, January is already a bad month. So I was really, really depressed. All I wanted to do is lay in bed, cry, and do nothing. And I've got a bestie, a friend who has been there. It's like from secondary school, we did 1 to 6 together, service in Takoradi, Legon, and in the UK. She said she kept feeling bad vibes. So one day she called me and she was like, we call ourselves Touch. Touch, are you okay? And there are some people you can't lie to. So I said to Eva, no, I'm not. And I burst into tears. And she was like, why? And I'm like, I've lost my job, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh my God, you know what? You're a strong woman. Get rid of the tears. And I'm like, but there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know what to do. I'm so unprepared. She's like, you know what? You were one of the girls, you and I, we were always in the first 10. You chose to do what you do and did because of passion. And you helped many women. But let me tell you, it's time to do you. You know what? I've opened my law firm. I just opened it. I can't pay you, but I can give you skills. And once you've acquired that skills, you have a choice. That law career you never pursued, you pursue it, or you can transfer this skill into any corporate. It was like winning the lottery. The next day, I was up, spruced up, makeup on fleek, shirts, power walk into the office. I felt like I even owned the law firm. And when I got in there, Eva didn't treat me like a nobody. Right in there were files. Do this, do that, do that. I'm like, I said, look, I'm not listening. You've got a master's degree. You are intelligent. You're educated. Read through this, blah, blah, blah. Every day Eva was on me. I'm telling you, within 2 weeks, I could write letters. I could open a file. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And after a while, she's like, I would even, say, oh, Eva, this letter, we left this. And she said, you know what, you're going to go to law school because I can see you are enjoying this. And I started working on the divorce department. She taught me the ropes and I was loving it. I'm like, I'm home. And she goes, I know. Now you go on, fill the application. She went to Westminster, so I'm like, hey, she's my mentor. She's my best friend. I might be 2 years older than her, but we're having fun. People were like, how can you work for your classmates? I'm like, hey, you don't know Eva and I. It's like, both of us working for someone. The fun we have whilst doing our work, you have no idea. So I'm cool. I filled the forms. I was dilly-dally. She gave me pressure. And another ride and die friend of mine, Abna Boatma, God bless that girl. She's a gem. All the way from Manchester, remote control. She was pushing and pushing. Eva wrote a glowing reference and I got law school. Didn't have the money. Abna Boatma Dakwa, a woman, she did big into her pocket, paid 1/8 of my school fees, put money in my accounts for pocket money. How could I let myself and these two women down. Not even having a tumor and going to Macmillan Center for treatment would stop me. And I started this law degree. I started getting very ill. And guess what? In December, I was diagnosed with kidney disease stage 3. It was a blow that I didn't expect. I almost gave up. I wrote my letter to defer, and one of my tutors said, you know what, try and write the exams for first semester and let's see how it goes. So I listened to her. I wrote the exams, and God being so good, I passed all of that. Semester 2 came. I was so ill, 2.5 weeks. I didn't go for lectures. And that was like 40 hours of listening lectures that I'd missed. However, you know, when God decides to make a way, he does. COVID became my saving grace. Because even though my kidneys, I was so poorly, I couldn't go for lectures. Everything was moved online. So I was able to just sit in my bed, listen to my lectures, do tutorials. And I say to the glory of God, my results this semester shocked me. Shocked me. What God has done, me the sinner, me the erotic writer. So you know what? I am in law and I am going all the way. When I'm not qualified yet because the roots, I've got a few exams to write. But when I'm fully qualified, I'm back in the firm, Yves firm, and together we are going to champion the cause for women. And trust me, I have made a pact with God that if I go through and I go through well, every alternate year, I will do a single mother's case or a widowed mother's case pro bono. So may God help me.
Madam,
Yes, so that's how I'm in law.
You are an
Currently, I'm a
inspiration.
legal case worker, yes.
You are an inspiration. You
Thank
are a
you.
wonderful inspiration. People, here we are. We have a woman who has gone through fire, a lot of things. And in the last stage, even, that was last year, she then found out that she had a tumor.
Kidney.
Yeah,
The
in
tumor
your
was
head,
in 2016, which I'm
2016.
still, receiving treatment for. But the kidney disease, I was
Was last.
diagnosed, yes, in December.
Yeah. Now, here you are. Someone is saying you look stunning. You look beautiful. If you're walking on the street, no one knows what is going on. And yet, look at the inspiration. A lot of people are inspired with this discussion. And that is the main thing. You're a good woman. God is constantly blessing you. People, even though she is an international makeup artist, Candy, I have put eyelashes on those eyes for her before. Me,
Yes,
I
my
did
big
it.
Miss Candy, yes.
I was a professional. So
Yes,
people
she's
know
my
it.
lashes woman.
I am the last woman. I. So I am also me too. That is my pride. That with all the things you do your makeup and everything, I said, let me do yours. I put eyelashes on.
Yeah, yeah. And we hit the road.
And we hit her. We have had some good times, my darling. Now, one other thing is, what would you tell your 20-year-old self? Now,
I will
from
tell,
all the experiences that you've had and from all the things that have happened to you, what would you tell your 20-year-old self?
Okay, what I would tell my 20-year-old self is to be more confident. Even though I look confident on the outside, I wasn't very confident inside. To be more confident, to be more proactive. I procrastinated a lot. And that is one of my, weaknesses. But I am working at it and I'm getting better and better. So what I would tell my 20-year-old self is do not procrastinate, be a go-getter, be a risk taker. However, let God be your focus. Listen to his voice. Do not listen to man. Always go on your knees when you want something. Pray for it. Ask earnestly, and it shall be given to you. When you are challenged, do not listen to naysayers. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, tell yourself, yes, I can. Because trust me, 49 years, I've done a law degree that is done in 3 years. I did it in 7 months. You understand? So, and at 49, I sat in class with 20-year-olds. The closest person to me in class was age 34. So you can imagine how I felt. There were only 2 30-year-olds in the class, and the rest were 20 something, way down to 21. And I sat down there, a 49-year-old woman. But you know what? I was determined. Don't ever let anyone say you can't do anything. The more they tell you you can't do it, tell your 20-year-old self you can do it. And if my 20-year-old self knows what she knows now, I would have been flying higher. And the icing on the cake, always be nice to strangers. And a little word to my millennials. When you are dealing with strangers on Facebook, on Instagram, or social media outlets, sometimes a bit of humility, not the humility that they say act like a fool back home, but being humble, being willing to learn, being respectful to age will take you a long way. You know what? It's opened doors for me. I'm telling you, Miss Candy, she's a decade older than me. She plays with me. No, I'm being, you know me, I tell her as it is. She plays with me, but I do not disrespect her in any way. We have our jokes. She knows me more than a lot of people know me. Because I tell her things I won't tell other people. However, I never cross the line by being disrespectful. Same with, you know, I just commented on a lady's,
If you sit up a little
post.
bit so that in the camera, then we can see the magazine that,
Yeah, posts. And she found it so funny. She looked me up and she said, "Oh, you're a writer." Well, I'm a publisher, I'm an actress, I'm this. I'd like you to work with me. I thought it was a joke. And she's like, there's something quietly comforting about you. You exude confidence, but at the same time, you're so laid back. You know what? I'll work with you. And I'm thinking, I told my friends, they said, yeah, 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 yeah. The day I finished writing my last paper, my email started flashing. And there she was. She wanted me to be a columnist for her magazine, Adiva. It's a magazine by women, published by a woman for women. It empowers, educates, and helped women. So I'm proud to say this is my latest achievement. And my article I wrote in there's balancing motherhood during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good read, and trust me, when you get this magazine, you learn a lot from it. So I am grateful to God for everything He has done, and He keeps doing. All our advice, anybody listening, is even if you are ill, do not think it's the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Put your face on. I've got one special lady
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to give a shout out to. Amma Folsom, if you are watching, I want you to know you inspire me every day. You are the reason why I put on my makeup
Mm-hmm.
and put my best face and foot forward. I love
Mm-hmm.
you and I wish you all the happiness in the world because you motivate me. And I also will keep motivating others. Illness
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean you have to look 50 years older. Trust me, I
Mm-hmm.
have my days. Last week, if you had seen me, I couldn't even get out of bed. But the little energy you get, try spruce yourself up, put your right foot forward, and go conquer the world.
Wow. Charlene, you inspire everyone. This the whole spectrum of your life up till now, and the way that you have told us the story is so inspiring. It is so wonderful. I don't know what to say. Even I am speechless, and this is me. It is my show, and yet I am totally overawed with you. And I'm so glad that you came to share your story. And yes, I know Emma Folsom as well, and she inspires me too. In fact, there was a time I was feeling ill, and I sent her something saying, today I'm feeling a bit. And she said, yeah, me too. And I said, what? I just saw you smiling, taking a lovely picture. She said, oh, yeah. I even went to church. And I thought I really should stop moaning and get my
Yeah.
act together.
When you see me act up on Facebook, trust me, those are the worst days of my life.
Yeah.
But you know what? I tell myself, when I see you guys laugh with me, when I see you call me names, it brightens my day. So sometimes I'm in bed, not moving my body, but just moving these fingers, tapping away, just to put a cheer out there for all of us. It works.
Well,
So
I
don't
think
think.
we can see your melons so that people can see that this is one healthy girl who is just, against all odds. The girl is looking healthy. Melons are out there and she's on total fleek. I don't know what to say really because you weakened me a little bit. But I am so grateful that you came on. I think we've overdone our hour. We only have 2 more minutes left to 15.
Oh,
So I want to say thank you so much for coming on, for sharing and when you do get a new book, we're gonna come and talk about it. But people try and buy the book.
law at 2020.
Yes, I bought the book. I read it. I was so in awe. In
She
fact,
came to the launch.
I was at your launch, and yeah, I think we've been friends since, and we have so much in common. It's crazy. I'm not going to tell you what we have in common, people. So stop guessing. Don't
Yeah,
even think
it's
about
just us. We've got melons in common.
it. Yeah,
We've
we
got
do.
melons in common.
We've got nice melons. But yeah. So my advice to everyone is: you don't know what someone is going through. So sometimes we should be very careful how we treat people. And also, you don't know people's journeys. And you don't know when you're going to falter. in this world, friends are precious, family is precious. And as someone said, family is not always blood. It is the people in your life who want you in theirs. So you have to remember this. And as you go on your journey, people forget sometimes, but everyone needs to remember that you are on your private journey, even when you're meeting people, even when you're having children, you're doing marriage, not married, whatever. You are on your private journey, and that journey, be careful how you live it. Advise yourself, move on, have goals, reach those goals. Don't let physical things deter you. Sometimes you have to have a single mind. Sharlene has a single mind. She's done all of the things and will even achieve more. She's not even 50. And she's done things. She's done
50
things.
in 50 next month.
Next month.
50 next month.
50 next month. People, my birthday is on Sunday. On that day, I will be. Let me tell you how I'm going to spend my birthday before I cut this show. First of all, I want to thank everyone on the show. I want to thank you, Sharlene, because you've made 1 hour move so fast. It was like, I don't know whether, I didn't even ask you all the questions I had written down. People, when I have guests, I have questions. I haven't asked half of them, and an hour has passed. So all I want you to know is I'm grateful for all of you, all the listeners. I'm grateful to Sharlene. Sharlene, I'm grateful for your friendship. And I want you all to know that sometimes as you go on your journey, if you have a positive mind, your life will be enjoyable. Mine is on Sunday, I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. On Saturday, I'm having a photo shoot. Sharlene found me a photographer. I am going to I've bought several dresses. I'm going to wear them. I will wear even a blonde wig, a black wig, a straight wig, and this week I'm doing all. On Sunday, my children, my brothers and their children and I, simple, because of lockdown, I can't have a party that I had planned, but I'm okay with it. We've got food, we shall pray, and we shall eat. The host will be dedicated to my type of music. So I will be playing Nigerian music. I love that. So there will be a lot of, and rough dancing. I will be doing all of that. So if I'm brave enough, I will video some and I'll put it on Facebook, as you know, and Instagram. If I'm not that brave and I'm drunk halfway, I will not. But trust and believe that this girl is going to have fun on the 6th of September. With that, I shall bid you adieu.
Thank you very much, Miss Candy, for giving me this platform to share my story. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. And one last thank you to Mr. Samuel K. Appiah, my brother, who is my biggest cheerleader. Thank you for all you do. May God give you long life. Ra, S.K. Appiah, thank you. Thank you, God, and thank you, friends. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Sharlene. Thank you so much. Stay. I shall stay on the line, but I shall take the people off. And people, okay. I know that on Sunday you'll all be wishing me happy birthday. Sing a song for me. Do whatever. Because I shall enjoy. Thank you. Bye-bye. Be well.